Hi, hello. How are you? Right. In last sessions, I have done 6 videos based on the basics of class 10 chemistry. Please go through that, then you will get clear picture of basics of chemistry. So in this session onwards, let us start chapter number 1, the very important chapter of class 10 chemistry, chemical reactions and equations. Look at the board. So chemical reactions and equations consist of 4 important topics: chemical reactions, chemical equations, types of reactions, and corrosion and rancidity. In case of chemical reactions, we are going to discuss what is meant by reaction, products and reactants, and some examples, followed by characteristics of chemical reactions. In case of topic number 2, chemical equations. In chemical equation, how to write a chemical equation, how to balance the chemical equation, why should the chemical equations be balanced, and some examples. Next, topic number 3, types of reaction. In this one, how many types of reactions are there, like combination reaction, decomposition reaction, displacement reaction, double displacement reaction, redox reaction. So last one is corrosion. In case of corrosion, rusting of iron and rancidity, these all we are going to discuss in detail. Don't skip the video. Please make a beautiful note of it. So, and make use of this session for your bright future. Thank you. So let us start. Chapter number 1, chemical reactions and equation. That one first topic, chemical reactions. Put it in, chemical reactions. Chemical reactions. Chemical reactions. What is meant by chemical reaction? What is meant by chemical reaction? So let us consider this one reaction. So A react with B gives C plus D. Let us assume A react with B gives C plus D. This formation of C plus D by the combination of AB. This process is called chemical reaction. So that means chemical reaction is a process. Chemical reaction is a process in which in which new substances are formed. New substances are formed along with new properties. This process is called chemical reaction. Chemical reaction is a process in which new substances are formed along with new properties, is called chemical reaction. So here A react with B gives C plus D. This is called reaction. Is called reaction. Here one more point I would like to give. Those substances are involved in the reaction are called reactants. Here A and B both are considered as reactant because of A and B took a part in chemical reaction. And C plus D are called products because so those substances are obtained after completion of the reaction or as a result of chemical reaction is called products. Right? I hope you understand what is meant by chemical reaction. Chemical reaction is a process in which new substances are obtained along with new properties. Those substances involved in the chemical reaction are called reactants. Reactants. Those substances obtained as a result of chemical reaction are called products. Are called products. Are called products. So this is what is meant by chemical reaction and what are the products and what are the reactants. Let me take one more example to understand. For example, hydrogen react with oxygen gives water. So no need to worry. So we are going to discuss how to write equations and how to balance the equation. So no need to worry about that. Let me give one example. So hydrogen react with oxygen gives water. This one is a balanced chemical equation. In this one, so these two are called reactants because of they are taking a part in chemical reaction. Here this one is called product because it is obtained as a result of chemical reaction after completion of the chemical reaction. Those chemical substances take a part in reaction is called reactants. Those are obtained as a result of chemical reaction is called products. Here hydrogen and oxygen both are considered as reactants whereas water is product. So during the chemical reaction, breaking of old bonds taking place and making of new bonds taking place. Breaking of old bonds in the sense the bonds between hydrogen and hydrogen. These are a bond existed between hydrogen and hydrogen. In case of oxygen, double bond will be present. So breaking of old bonds taking place and making of new bonds taking place. Making of new bonds taking place. Point number one, very, very important. During the chemical reaction, breaking of bonds and making of bonds taking place. Next one. At the same time, during the chemical reaction, rearrangement of atoms taking place. Rearrangement of atoms taking place. One more point. So there is no creation of new atom, there is no destruction of atoms. No creation, no destruction. Only rearrangement of atoms taking place during the chemical reaction. So this is what is meant by chemical reaction and what is meant by reactants and what is meant by product. Is it clear to you? Right. Okay, good, good. Now, how do we come to know that a chemical reaction has taken place? How do we come to know that a chemical reaction has taken place? Write down that question. Is a very, very important question. Write down, how do we come to know that a chemical reaction has taken place? Write down. How do we come to know that come to know that how do we come to know that a chemical reaction a chemical reaction a chemical reaction has taken place. A chemical reaction has taken place. Let me write here this one. Taken place. Very, very important question. How do we come to know that a chemical reaction has taken place? Listen. During the conversion of reactants to products, you must have seen that some observable features. So these observable features are called characteristics of chemical reactions. So answer is with the help of characteristics of chemical reactions. Chemical reactions. This is the answer for given question. Very important, one more question, very important. How do we come to know that a chemical reaction has taken place? With the help of characteristics of chemical reactions. What is meant by characteristics of chemical reactions? What is meant by characteristics of chemical reaction? So characteristics of chemical reactions are the observable features are obtained or accompanied by the chemical reactions during the conversion of reactants into products. So during the conversion of reactant to product, some observable features are you must have seen. So these observable features are called characteristics of chemical reactions. So characteristics of chemical reactions. Is it clear? Right. No. So how many characteristics of chemical reactions are there? And let us discuss one by one in detail. Characteristics of chemical reactions. Characteristics of characteristics of characteristics of sorry characteristics of chemical reactions. In that, let me write how many are there. The first one is evolution of gas. Evolution of gas. Second one is formation of precipitate. Formation of precipitate. Formation of precipitate. Change in color. Change in color. Change in state. Change in temperature. Characteristics of chemical reactions.